let's talk about something that trips up almost every single trader when they're starting out. Trend lines. I know, they seem simple. But if you've ever felt that frustration when they just don't work, stick with me. We're going to fix that today. I mean, it's the biggest question, isn't it? You see a beautiful trend, you draw your line, you place your trade with all the confidence in the world, and then poof, the market does the exact opposite. It's not because trend lines are useless, it's because most people are missing a key piece of the puzzle. Oh man, does this look familiar? On the left, that's the dream, right? The textbook perfect bounce that makes you feel like a genius. But on the right, that's the reality for so many. The price just ignores your line completely, smashes through your stop loss, and leaves you just scratching your head. It is an absolutely painful cycle. But what if I told you those losses aren't random? They're not just bad luck. They happen for a very specific reason. You're missing one crucial filter, one little secret that helps you figure out if the price is going to bounce or if it's going to break. And today, I'm going to give you that filter. Okay, first things first. Before you can even think about drawing a line, you got to know what points you're connecting. So let's start with the absolute foundation, the bedrock of all of this, finding your swing points. I want you to look at a price chart like it's a mountain range. The swing points are just the peaks and the valleys. That's it. They're those really obvious spots where the price hit a high point and turned around, or hit a low point and bounced. Simple V-shapes. Spotting these is skill number one. So we've got two types. Swing highs, those are your peaks. Swing lows, those are your valleys. Now here's the most important rule on this slide. To draw a trend line that you can actually trust, you need to connect at least 3 of these points. Anybody can connect 2 dots, but 3 confirms a real trend. All right, so you can spot your peaks and valleys. Awesome. Now let's get into the actual craft of connecting those dots like a professional. Ah, yes, the million-dollar question. This is the one that paralyzes so many traders. You see the points, but you're not sure, should my line touch the very tip of the wicks, or should it cut through and touch the bodies of the candles? Let's settle this debate for good. Here's the secret, and it's going to sound way too simple. It's not about wicks or bodies. Your goal is not perfection. Your goal is connection. The one and only rule is this. Draw the line that gets the most touches, the line of best fit. Sometimes it'll touch wicks, sometimes bodies, sometimes both. Just get the maximum touches. And this leads to a huge mental shift. You have to stop thinking of your trend line as a brick wall. It's more like a zone of interest, a riverbank. The water might splash over the edge for a second. That's a wick poking through. But what really matters is where the river is actually flowing. That's where the candle closes. If it closes back on the right side of the line, your trend is still intact. Okay, you know how to find your points. You know how to draw your lines. Now, for the secret sauce. This is that filter I told you about. This is the thing that separates the pros from the amateurs and turns guesswork into a high probability plan. This is where it all comes together. See, a trend line by itself just tells you where a reaction might happen. But when you add this filter, it helps you anticipate how the price is going to react. It gives you the confidence to know whether you should be getting ready for a bounce or preparing for a big breakout. We call this filter key levels, and they're really simple. They are just recent, small areas of support and resistance. Look to the left of where the price is right now. Where did it turn around recently? Where did it pause? Those little pivot points are your key levels. They're like little zones of price memory that show you where buyers and sellers showed up before. Okay, enough theory. Let's make this real. We're going to walk through 3 specific, actionable trade setups that you can start hunting for on your charts today. This is how you combine trend lines with our new key level filter. First up, the all-time classic, the trend line bounce. This is your bread and butter setup for getting into a nice, healthy trend at a discount. But now we're going to do it with an extra layer of confirmation. So here's the game plan. You find your strong trend line. You see the price pull back to touch it. Now, the old you might have just jumped in right there. Not anymore. Now you mark the nearest key level. The touch isn't your trigger. Your trigger is seeing the price break past that key level. That's your proof that the trend is ready to go again. All right, next up is the trend line pullback. This setup is absolutely perfect for those super strong trends, the ones that are moving so fast they don't even have time to pull all the way back to your main trend line. So for this one, when the price starts to pause, you draw a tiny little trend line just across the top of that small pullback. Then you find the key level that's holding it back. Your entry trigger is a powerful double whammy. Price has to break both the little trend line and the key level. That's the market screaming at you that the main trend is back on. And finally, my personal favorite, the one with the potential for those huge chart-changing moves, the trend line breakout. This is how you catch a massive trend reversal right at the very beginning. With this one, you're actually betting against the trend, which is a dangerous game, so we need more proof. As the price comes down to that major trend line, you find the key level on the other side of it. Now listen closely. A break of the trend line alone is a trap. You wait for the price to break the line and then continue on to break that key level. That's your real confirmation that the whole trend is shifting.
Phew, okay, I know that was a lot of information. We went all the way from finding simple dots on a chart to 3 complete trading strategies. So let's boil it all down into a simple guide you can use from this day forward.
If you forget everything else, please just burn these 3 rules into your brain. Rule number 1, draw for the most connections, not for a perfect, pretty line. Rule number 2, a trend line is just an area of interest. The key level is your confirmation. A trend line alone is not a signal to trade. And rule number 3, patience. Wait for a candle to actually close past your key level before you even think about putting your money on the line. Look, you now have a complete framework that I promise you most traders are completely missing. You have the ability to draw lines with purpose, and more importantly, you have a filter to give you confidence in your trades. You've got the map and you've got the compass. The only question now is, where are you going to go?